Madeline Finn has a brand new puppy and lots of responsibilities. She has to walk Star and feed him and make sure he has a safe place to sleep. But she learns the most important thing is love. So when Madeline Finn visits an animal shelter, she has lots of questions about the dogs who live there. Do they get to play outside? Do they get to sleep under blankets? Does anybody read to them? Does anybody tell them they love them? Madeline Finn is determined to help the shelter dogs, but can she find a way to make each one of them feel special? With the help of some friends and a few good books, she just may discover that even small people can make a big difference. Madeline Finn and the Shelter Dog by Lisa Papp. I ask Mom every single day, in the morning, in the evening, even when we're out, and finally she says yes. Hello, Madeline Finn, Mrs. Dimple says when we arrive. Your mom says you're ready to pick out one of Bonnie's puppies. Yes, please, I say, but first I give Bonnie a big hug. Hi, Bonnie. I'm so excited I can't decide which puppy to choose. I love them all, I tell Mom. Why don't you see if someone picks you? Mrs. Dimple asks. So I close my eyes and think of a name I picked for my puppy. Star, I whisper, and the littlest one crawls right up into my lap. Woof, he says real soft. It worked, I say. Is this how you chose Bonnie? Not quite, Mrs. Dimple says. There are lots of ways to find animals. Do you know what a shelter is? A shelter is a place where animals wait for good homes, she says. Like a hotel? I ask. Sort of, Mrs. Dimple says, except the animals want homes where they can stay forever. They need forever homes. How many animals are there? I ask. Do they have snakes? It's not a zoo, Mrs. Dimple explains. But there are lots of dogs and cats. I volunteer at the shelter. Bonnie comes too. Why don't you join us sometime? Can we, Mom? I ask. We'd love to, Mom says. Before we go, Miss Dimple says, Madeline Finn, you have a new job now with lots of responsibilities. Then she tells me everything I need to do, like walking Star and feeding him and making sure he has a safe place to sleep. But the most important thing, she says, is love. I love you, Star, I say when I feed him. I love you, Star, I say when I read to him. I love you, Star, I say when I tuck him in. It's okay, Star, I say when he has an accident on the floor. I love you. On Saturday, Mrs. Dimple invites us to the shelter. Thank you for the donations, a lady tells Mrs. Dimple. Then she smiles at me. My name is Miss Ivy. Would you like to meet some of our animals? Yes, please, I say. Hi, I say to the first dog I see, but he doesn't even wag his tail. The sign on his cage says his name is Mr. Chips. We meet lots of dogs and cats and even some bunnies and birds. They all need homes? I ask. Miss Ivy nods. She seems a little sad. I think Mr. Chips is sad too. Mom, I ask when we get home, do shelter dogs get to play outside? Probably not as much as Star, she says. Do shelter dogs get to sleep under blankets? I'm not sure, honey. Mrs. Dimple says love was most important, I say. That's right, dear. Mom, does anyone tell the shelter dogs they love them? Mom is quiet. She gives me a big hug. Maybe you can show them. The next day, I rummage through our linen closet. The sign at the shelter said they need towels, I say. Can we bring some? I bet they would like that, Mom says. Miss Ivy is happy to see us. Thank you, Madeline Finn, she says. These will make soft beds for the animals. But when we leave, I notice there weren't enough towels for all the animals. And Mr. Chips still looks so sad. Before bed, I practice reading to Star. Then I whisper in his ear, I love you, Star. Woof, he says real soft. When Mom tucks us in, I say, Star loves when I read to him. He sure does, sweetie. Mom? Yes, dear. Does anyone read to the shelter dogs? In the morning, we talk with Mrs. Dimple about my new idea. Then Star and I spend all week collecting towels and blankets from the neighbors. I make special signs and Mrs. Dimple helps me hang them in the library. Saturday, 10 o'clock. Come read to the shelter animals. Bring a blanket and a book. On Friday night, I barely sleep. I'm so excited. When Saturday comes, I'm ready. So is Star. But when we arrive, it's just us. Nobody else came, I tell Star. Woof, he says real soft. I'm glad you're here, Miss Ivy says, when I hand her the blankets and towels. Why don't you get started? I sit by the first dog. We're both a little nervous, but when I start reading, she wags her tail. The next dog perks up his ears when I read to him. Even the cats around the corner are listening. But after my 5th story, I'm still the only one here. I don't have enough books, I tell Miss Ivy, or enough blankets. I know, Madeline Finn, she says. I know. Then I hear footsteps. Annie comes first. Behind her are lots of kids with lots of books and lots of blankets. Sorry we're late, I hear a parent say. There was a crowd at the library checking out books. Miss Ivy shows everyone how to sit with the dogs and to read to them. Pretty soon the shelter looks like a library. Did everyone get a story? I asked Mom. I think so, sweetie. And a blanket? Almost, Mrs. Dimple says. Take a look. I peek around the corner. Mr. Chips didn't get a blanket. He was going home in one. Mr. Chips found a new family today, Mrs. Dimple says. He's getting a real home, Mom says. A forever home, I say. And Star lets out a giant woof. Hello, friends. I hope you enjoyed our story today. Look for Lisa Papp's first book called Madeline Finn and the Library Dog. It was the Children's Choice Book of the Year. I'll see you next time on Storytime with Lorelei. Bye for now.